Please stand by.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Warning. What is your name?
I am Jay Ramone, and this is the Jay Ramone Podcast.
If the FCC knew you were doing drugs on the air, shut us down!
This gets more work done more accurately.
I will sit down with bands, artists, chefs, business owners, and fellow Oklahomans to talk about their projects and dealing with day-to-day life.
This stuff can give you brain damage.
This is the Jay Ramone Podcast.
Power of the internet is truly amazing.
In this episode of the Jay Ramone Podcast, I am joined by Tyler of the band Feel. You can catch him live this Saturday night, Beer City Music Hall, Oklahoma City. This is the Jay Ramone Podcast.
Hey, sorry it took me a sec to get on.
No, you're good. You're good. I appreciate
man.
you taking the time to do it.
Sure,
I'm
man.
with Tyler from the band Feel, which will be playing live Beer City Music Hall this Saturday night in Oklahoma City. And when I was looking at the calendar, I wanted to have you on because I'd never heard of you guys before, and I got served an ad on Instagram. So obviously I'm listening to things that are very similar. And so when I saw the clip and I listened, that sent me to your website and your Spotify and all the links so I could check it out. And I really dug your sound, the whole 70s kind of almost throwback vibe.
Sure, man. I'm gonna move.
No, you're good.
Is that music too loud that's playing upstairs?
No, man, you're fine.
Okay.
I think it adds to it.
I'll move back then. Yeah, man. I was distracted by them sound checking. What was the very last part you said?
I said I got served this ad on Instagram, and it gave me this very vintage 70s throwback vibe, like Free and Zeppelin and those type of bands. But then when I went and started listening to your catalog, the stuff you had released, I also hear a little Black Crowes influence, just definitely that Southern vibe, but a band who really likes to create art, somebody who's up there really playing and really doing it.
Yeah, man. I say a lot. What's cool about this band is, like you just said, you can hear a lot of different things. You can hear Free and Zeppelin and the Crowes. Our singer loves the Crowes, and they're great. And you can hear a whole bunch of different things. We're not a band that you can pinpoint that they're trying to do the Zeppelin thing. They're trying to do this. It's we're really a pretty healthy culmination of all of our influences, which we kind of have a vast amount. There's Gary right there. But you want to peek your head in really quick? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's Garrett. There's Garrett. But
hey,
yeah, we're just a healthy culmination of all of our influences, and we're really excited about the stuff that's going to come up because we get to express a little bit deeper into our different influences with laid back music, acoustic stuff, and all of that. But yeah, a lot of the bands you named are kind of what people hear on the surface level, and then they dive deep and they can hear a whole bunch of other stuff too.
What was the record or records that got you into that sound? Because obviously you're a lot younger than when those records came out and that sound was kind of created and perfected.
Oh man, hundreds of them, and records from outside of those decades too, whether it's decades before the 60s and 70s and after. It's interesting. I don't listen to the Crowes very much, but a lot of the stuff sounds like I can kind of hear some Crow stuff in there, and I feel it's because I'm listening to a lot of the stuff they were at the time, and Garrett is with his Ray Charles kind of stuff. There he is, and Caden and TJ and all that. But there's way too many records to name, but all the ones that people know, but a lot of the ones that a lot of people don't know too that have influenced us. And, a lot of, for me specifically, the 50s through the 70s, but the 60s and 70s records with pop and Laurel Canyon acoustic music, singer-songwriter stuff, you know, a lot of jazz and R&B, Motown, and then of course the rock stuff. But what's great about rock, I always say too, is that, you know, the birth of rock and roll was hillbilly country music and blues music coming together and R&B. So its conception was based on not one thing. So that's what's beautiful about rock is we can have, you know, they're up there sound checking a Blackberry Smoke song, but then we'll also break down and have like a kind of America Joni Mitchell-esque kind of acoustic set that we do too.
You guys had one song that I was listening to today that reminded me of this band, 1,000 Horses. That now
Okay.
they're like a Nashville country band and get played on country radio. But when I very first saw them, they were a straight up kind of like Southern 70s rock band, and they were opening up for the Pretty Reckless at a small club in Oklahoma City. And so I feel like bands find their influences in various different ways, but I like it when they create art rather than we're going for this one thing and we're just going to keep doing that over and over again.
Yeah, my buddy Nathan Sexton plays for 1,000 Horses. He's the drummer.
Nice.
Yeah, they're a cool band. It's interesting because like we don't really set out to go about playing a certain kind of thing. You know, I always say there's no ceiling for us, but you know there is appropriate and not appropriate for this group. But we don't really have a lot of barriers that we set for ourselves. So if it comes out sounding Southern rock, it does. You know, I can't say I've ever tried to write something that's Southern rock. I've never. I guess I'm not trying to write. I'm just writing things and bring it to the band, and it comes out the way it comes out. But it's also interesting, like, you know, if somebody's really into Leonard Skinner, they're going to say, wow, this sounds like Leonard Skinner. But to me, I am into Leonard Skinner, of course. But because they're way more rock than Southern. But
Yes, they
to
are.
me, if you hear a song like "Oh, I Need You" or something like that from Second Helping, I go, man, that sounds like Free. So that was Leonard Skinner's version of doing Free, and Ronnie's trying to do the Paul Rogers thing. So it's just really someone's going to describe us based on what they know. And
I feel
being
like
a
all those
four-piece-
bands from that era influenced each other in the moment, like in real
Oh my
time.
gosh,
They
yeah,
would
man.
they would see one of them do something, be like, "Oh my gosh!" And it wasn't like they were trying to copy or emulate. They were almost paying tribute, showing that we love what you've done and respect it, and we're fans.
Totally. I mean, it goes back to everything, you know, monkey see, monkey do. But like specifically, like with the Beatles and the Beach Boys, you know, the Beatles came out with Rubber Soul, and then Brian Wilson said, "God, I got to make Pet Sounds." And then they
Yeah.
heard Pet Sounds and like, man, we got to do Sergeant Pepper now. You know, Revolver first, but you know, but yeah, man, it just we're influenced by new groups too. You know, it might sound crazy, but like we're all fans of like Sabrina Carpenter, who's the biggest pop
Yeah.
act right now. I'm not gonna say she comes out in our music, but we're just fans of music in general. And I think that's I can't say something unique, but that helps with the music and being able to cater to a lot of people's ears because it comes off as genuine and authentic because we're just making music rather than which is great too, but like we're just a rock band. It's like, yeah, we are a rock band, but you know, like I said, if a Joni Mitchell-esque acoustic song comes out, like awesome. She's my favorite artist. We might as well, you know what I mean? So if it's a good song, it's a good song. And if we make it, it's gonna end up sounding like, you know, Feel. So
Real artists are fan of art of all types. Like there's no
yes.
boundaries. That's part of being an artist is you don't put yourself in a box. You just let yourself create off of your dome. You know what comes out of your own mind.
Yeah, totally, man. Not all of us, but a couple of us, and me in particular, and Garrett more so too, is we're very into film. And our really good friend Cameron Alvers does most of our media and our music videos. And if you watch those, it's kind of a little bit different than a normal music video. I'm not going to say they're absolutely groundbreaking every time, but it's more of like short film-esque. Like they tell stories, and so there's that. We're also very
Well,
into
I
visual
love
art and
that you guys are
communication.
inspired by that, even though, like, in 2025, we get the news that MTV is officially going away. Like, you know, before they had all those random channels that you could pick up or
Hmm.
subscribe to that still showed videos, but now they've announced
Hmm.
that it's officially going away. So I love seeing bands that are truly inspired by film to make a video and put it out there in the world, even, you know, in the current climate.
Yeah, man. I think what was so beautiful about MTV in the heyday from, 81 to what, mid 90s pretty much, is that there wasn't any other options. I mean, there was, but
No,
not all day long. Earlier you had, I guess in England would have been Top of the Pops, but you know, um, you had your American bandstands and your midnight specials, etc. But you couldn't watch it all the time, and
mm-mm.
there was only channel like that. But nowadays, there's so many options. There's more people listening to music than ever because there's what 8 billion people on Earth now, right? 300
Right.
some million in the United States. So there's more people listening to music than ever, but it's from different channels. You get different streaming. You get this, so it's not concentrated on one platform, which might make it seem that the music business is not as powerful as it was. I think it's just different, and people aren't, you know, just into some different groups, and that's a beautiful thing that you can find. I mean, I know bands from the 60s and 70s that no one's ever heard of. Get like here, and then now you can't releases, etc. You're watching MTV, and oh, they're still going. It kind of froze. But you talk to
It
your
it
buddies,
froze
right?
just a second, but
Okay, you go back to your high school or whatever. Hey, man, did you see the new Tears for Fears video yesterday? And it's like, yeah, we all saw it because we were all watching at the same time. It was much more a sense of community. Um, Now I know that metalheads were metalheads back then, and pop people liked pop still and all that. But I think it was more so a thing of like, you still had to take the record and put it on, and if you wanted to listen to the other side, you had to get off your butt and do it. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's that's something cool about what we do too, is or what kind of is forming with our community is like it's older folks and younger folks, and it's starting to grow in both of those demographics. And it's people who I say might have seen Zeppelin back in the day, and they go, "Man, this reminds me of what it was like." And then for the younger folks, they're like, either this must have been what it was like, or we've never seen or heard something quite like this. So I always say that we are unlocking nostalgia for an older generation and creating it for a younger. And that's pretty cool that it's kind of that oneness I was talking about. Everyone was watching MTV. It's like whether you liked it or not, you were all, taking that in at the same time. And now it's a little bit more scattered.
you guys are bringing both young and old together, you know, at the same time. Um, I know that this week, my friend Aubrey, who owns a place in Ardmore, Oklahoma called Two Frogs Grill, and he has a lot of bands play there. He has blown me up like 6 times this week. Super excited that you guys are coming to Oklahoma City. And so
Cool,
when he
man.
calls me and is excited, I know that a band is really, really good. And I know exactly what I'm in for when I go see the show. Tyler, thank you so much. Looking forward to the show at Beer City Music Hall this Saturday night. All right, so the internet connection got a little bit sketchy there towards the end, but that was Tyler from the band Feel. They're live this Saturday night, Beer City Music Hall. They have a brand new EP, Into the Sun, which is available on all the platforms now or physical media as well. This has been the J. Ramone Podcast.